We're going to work through example 1 from your notes. And example 1 asks you to calculate the molar mass of ammonium sulfite. Now, I gave you the formula for ammonium sulfite, but it's very important that you remember your polyatomic ions and remember to crisscross your charges to create formulas, just in case I didn't give that to you. So we have to calculate the molar mass. Remember, the molar mass is the mass of 1 mole. So what we have to do is we have to figure out how many of each atom do we have in 1 mole of a compound. So the first thing that we have to do is count up how many of each atom that we have. So if we look at the formula, okay, we have 2 nitrogens, okay, we have 4 times 2 hydrogens, we have 1 sulfur, and 3 oxygens. So remember, if there's parentheses, the subscript outside the parentheses goes to everything inside. In this case, there are no parentheses, so this 3 only goes to the oxygen. So, like we said before, we have 2 atoms of N, 8 atoms of H, 1 atom of S, and 3 atoms of O. So I laid everything out for this. Now we have to figure out what is the mass of 1 mole of each of these. So if we take a look at the periodic table, we can find the molar masses. So if we look at the periodic table, specifically look at the periodic table that I gave you from the AP exam, because that's going to be the periodic table that you're given. So if we look at nitrogen, it's 14.01 grams per mole. Hydrogen is 1.008. Sulfur is 32.06. And oxygen is 16. So we're going to multiply these out, okay, because we have to find the mass of how many of each that we have. So we multiply each of those out. I did that over here in black. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add all of them up. Okay, so once we have each of the individual masses, we add all of them up. Notice when I add them up, I get 116.1 grams per mole. Now my answer has 4 significant figures because all of my masses from the periodic table have 4 significant figures. Okay, we're not going to worry about how many atoms we have. We're going to look at the actual values that we used. So my answer had 4 significant figures, and my units are grams per mole. Don't forget units. Okay, you have to have units. And whenever you're finding molar mass, the unit is always grams per mole.